Good day, guys. Hey, YouTube. Welcome back to Victor the Vicious. We're starting a new series, Hey, guys. Welcome back to another banger. Not really another banger. It's more of like a reaction. If you're interested, you can sit down and watch, and we can discuss it. So feel free if you have any comments, any critiques, any comments towards the content I'm showing, any comment at all. Please let me know in the comment section below. Now, without further ado, what we'll be reacting today is Mr. Jerry West. For most of you who don't watch NBA, first of all, if you already clicked on this video and you don't know who Jerry West is, then before you watch this video, do your research. But you shouldn't. I'm going to assume that most of y'all know who Jerry West is if you clicked on this video. So, without further ado, I want to react to what he said in regards to JJ Redick's comments of how players back in the 40s, 50s, or 60s, I'm not really sure in what era around those decades used to play. The comment was along the lines of him saying that guys were going against, plumbers and firemen and just your typical blue collar type of warehouse or typical job that falls in line in those categories. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and see what Mr. West has to say. Um, let's see here.
Thoughts on comments like that about your generation and the generations that paved the way?
Well, obviously the game is completely different. The athletes are completely different. And I know JJ just a little bit. He's a very smart kid and everything. But tell me what his career looked like. What did he
Wow.
do that was that determined games? He averaged 12 points a game in the league. Somewhere along the way, numbers count. At that point in time, the players aren't what they used to be. JJ certainly wasn't going to guard the elite players. And so you can nitpick anyone. And I'm not, the only reason I'm talking about him is because he was not an elite player, but he was a very good player. But he had a place on the team because of his ability to shoot the ball. My era, I was an athlete way before my time. I had a huge vertical. Um, Probably no one in the league was much faster than me. And certainly the competitive part of it, I would put myself among any player that played the game today also. Winning is all that matters. That's what drove me. And I subtly got better every year. We didn't have the facilities to get better. We had to work in the summers to support our family. AJ should be very thankful that he's made as much money as he's made. And Bob Cousy, who I played against a couple of years, not very long, uh, I just think it's very disrespectful myself.
Okay. Okay. So let's take this back. All right, because he said a lot there, and a lot of what he responded this in a way that came from his own ego. Let's just state that, okay? So let's just rewind it a little bit because I want to know exactly. I want to cover everything he said. I have something to contest to for the most part. So let's just go back and see because I'm just
Thoughts
like you're delusional right now. But let's just yeah.
on comments like that about your generation and the generation that paved the way?
Well, obviously the game is completely different. The athletes are completely different.
Okay, yes, the game is completely different and the athletes are completely different. You just stated that. You just stated that. So come with the same energy when you came with, oh, I'll put myself against any other athlete. Okay, what are you exactly saying? Are you saying that if you were in this era with your athleticism and the facilities that we have now, would you have been able to get better? Would you have been recognized as the best player in this era? Because I really doubt that if Jerry West would have came out in this era compared to the last era, the whole Jerry West and the whole NBA emblem that wouldn't have existed. I mean, he's basically saying that if he would have played in this era, he would have had the same or better results. And I don't see it. That's how I'm taking it as. Maybe I'm wrong. But let's continue.
And I know JJ just a little bit. He's a very smart kid and everything. But tell me what his career looked like.
Bro, shots were fucking thrown, bro. Wow. Look at him. Like, well, he's very smart, but tell me what his career looked like compared to mine. That's basically what he's saying. Like that's literally what he's saying compare. He wasn't no all star like I was. All right, he didn't transcend the game like I did. He's not. Have you seen the NBA symbol lately, ladies and gentlemen? You see a little white figure in between the blue and the red? That's me. What have you done, JJ Redick? Like seriously, bro? Really? All right.
What did he do that determined games?
But Mr. West, with all due respect, we're not here to talk about what did he do. We're here to talk about what you could do right now. You know what I'm saying? What you could do right now, not what he did. Okay? Whatever.
He averaged 12 points a game in the league. Somewhere along the way, numbers count. At that point in time, the players.
Time out. Time out. Time out. I actually want to see that. I'm actually interested. JJ Redick, NBA average. Because I know for Lob City, he was scoring something. Oh, 12.8. Yo, I guarantee he looked this stuff up. And I guarantee you this is his entire career, though. This is his entire career. Let's see when he was playing for the Clippers. What was he averaging? Okay. So he had an extensive how many years in the NBA? I can't even see here. It doesn't matter how many seasons. I'm not going to count. He had quite like 14, 15 seasons. And if you look at his points average, okay, he played for Milwaukee. No, he couldn't. Okay, well, I'm saying his average right now, and his last year in Orlando in 2012 2013 he was averaging 15 points a game. The year before that he was averaging 14. Went to the Clippers, started look at this back in 2013 all the way through 2020. Okay, 13 all the way through 20. The man was averaging 14, 15. Okay, he had a low year. Is that Milwaukee? He played for Milwaukee for a year, I guess, and then went back to LA. That made no sense. I didn't even realize that. Okay, went back to LA, scored 15, scored 16, 16 average, 15, 17, 18, 15. That means that an average, that's how much he was scoring. He was having probably 20 plus points a game. You know what I'm saying? He was the starting shooting guard for LA, for the Clippers, back when, they had Paul, Griffin, Jordan, all the good ones, man. Like he wasn't, just because he wasn't a mega star like you, or like you were brought up to be or indoctrinated to be, does not mean that he doesn't have the clearance, the G classify, how Shaq wants to put it, to talk about this. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. But that's cool. We'll go back to what Mr. Kuzi was saying. Hold on here. Let me get back. And another thing too. Hold on here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut to that scene right there. Hold on. Here it is.
Interested in your thoughts on comments like that about
Just
interested in your thoughts on comments like that.
bit. He's a very smart kid and everything. That determined games. He averaged 12 points a game in the league. Somewhere along the way, numbers count. At that point in time, the players aren't what they used to be. JJ certainly wasn't going to guard the elite players. And so you can nitpick anyone. And I'm not.
Yeah, but I mean, would you though? That's what I want to know. Were you gonna get chosen? This is the thing that he's talking like JJ's talking. JJ's basically saying like, yo, stop comparing like how great you were compared to are now. It's a whole different game. He's not saying that you were trash. He's not saying that if you're twisting his words around. You're making it sound like if I played in this era and I was trained with the facilities and all my dude, there's so many factors that play into that. Like you gotta understand that black athletes, Latino athletes, they didn't even have access to what white people had access to. So if white people didn't have access to the facilities, like you want to say, then what do you think would have happened when the blacks and Latinos got access to the facilities? I mean, like, come on, like let's think about this for a second.
The only reason I'm talking about him is because he was not an elite player, but he was a very good player.
Right.
But he had a place on the team because of his ability to shoot the ball. My
Okay, and that's typically what happens when you make it to the NBA, or for the most part, that's one of the main reasons why someone was signed because you can shoot very well, or you can do something at a very elite level. Whether there's, you know, giving someone picks or grabbing rebounds, whatever. You do something at a very elite level that's able to be placed. You're able to fill a role on a team, whether it's scoring 30 points a game or simply giving that person who's scoring 30 points a game a pick for him to do what he needs to do. Like everybody has a role, and you happen to, got lucky, and for the most part, we all get lucky at the end of the day. It's just it's we were at the right place at the right time. We got the God-given gift to do what we got to do athletically, and the right opportunity came about, and we took it. Because if it wasn't about luck, guys, think about all the people that could dunk. Think about I guarantee you, there's people right now throughout history that could have been amazing NBA players, amazing athletes, not even NBA, amazing athletes, little amazing athletes. Um, that never even had a shot, never got a chance. I mean, not to mention, not to talk, not even not to single out, but like, let's not even talk about players here in America. Let's talk about the players out in different countries. Okay, Mr. Jerry West. If you want to talk about that, okay, let's face it. Maybe there's another white player at the time when you played from Greek or some other country that could have been just as good as you are or better, and thereby would have been put on the little NBA sign instead of you. There's many factors on this, and again, you're twisting JJ's words, and I get it. JJ was a little condescending in that little comment he made, but I don't feel like he made any mouths by it. I don't feel like he was trying to, I didn't mean, I don't think he made any harm by it, but I get it. It's different era, different time. You want your respect. I get it.
I was an athlete way before my time. I had a huge vertical. Um,
And what's a huge vertical, bro? Like, okay, well, white people probably was like 28 inches, cause there were some other fellers that were jumping 40 plus. I mean, like, what was your vertical? Now, if you had a 40-inch vertical, hey man, you got it. Like, especially for a white boy, hey, 40-inch vertical and up. And I don't think he's actually. What? How tall is Jerry West? Doesn't really matter how tall he is. Well, let's see. Jerry West's height. He's 6'3". Okay, so what's a vertical? What was your Jerry West vertical? 16 inches? Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Probably no one in the league was much faster than me, and certainly the
Much faster than me.
competitive part of it, I would put myself.
Jerry, I heard you talk about Kobe at one point. God rest his soul. It's emotional, and I know you went through a lot and stuff like that. And again, Mr. West, do not take the offense. If you happen to watch this video, or anybody who watches videos is a big fan of Jerry West, I'm not shitting on the guy. I'm just kind of like pointing out certain facts that, hey man, you were good, or you were great. You've been recognized. You're the NBA symbol, whatever. But let's not get unrealistic here. Players are going to continue getting better. People are going to surpass eventually Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if there's going to be like a player that's going to just change crazy stuff like Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan changed so much. Like, we can talk about Julius Erving, we can talk about Larry Bird, we can talk about Magic, but Michael did something that just completely changed everything. And the blueprint that he took, Kobe took it, and more players are kind of like went behind him and did it. So it's a different era, and things are going to continue to change. You got to see some of these high school kids nowadays are so good, man. Like, they are really, like, they can actually compete in some of these open gyms with some of these professional players. Like, they're actually pretty damn good. So where are they going to be? Where's the game in the town going to be at 15, 20 years, 30 plus years from now? You know what I mean? Like we still haven't seen what we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen an actual phenom. Like I mean, the biggest phenom we've seen coming out of high school since LeBron James is Zion Williamson. I mean, when was another hype? What was another big player that actually hype like that and actually made an impact that quick in the league? Mm, I don't know.
Among any player that played the game today, also, winning is all that matter. That's what drove me. And I subtly got better every year. We didn't have the facilities to get better. We had to work in the summers to support our family. AJ should be very thankful that he's made as much money as he's made. And Bob Cousy, who I played.
Okay. Um, I get that, but again, like you just said it like different. There wasn't the same resources, bro. There wasn't, you didn't have the facilities like at different times. Again, like yeah, you're banking against players that had to like you're literally reiterating and proving a point what JJ said. Like yes, you played like maybe 6 weeks, 2 months out of the year, maybe more than that, 25% of the year. What are you going to do the other half of the year, 75% of the year? You got to find a different job. Now, do I believe Jerry West took a plumbing job? Do I believe he's a carpenter or something like that? No. I honestly think that whatever in position he was able to get opportunities beyond just getting a regular blue collar job. I'm sure he was an executive somewhere, something working in some kind of office, connected to some kind of sports or NBA. But someone like Average Joe who has who's a third stringer on Boston Celtics team, yeah, like back then I guarantee you that's what they have to do. It's find a scrape for whatever they can get because there's not enough means in the sport because there's not enough money in the sport yet. They don't have that many sponsors yet. That thing's not the same as it is today. So I don't know. There's just a lot of ways you could take this, but I feel like he took it a long way.
It's a couple of years, not very long. Um, I just think it's very
Yeah,
disappointing.
and another thing too is that like your tenure like, as a player back then is even shorter. I bet you probably would play in 3 to 4 years professionally, and that's it. Like that's it. And I mean, probably less than that because now it's 3 or 4 years on the average for the most part. Now, like nowadays though, you're making way more than you were making back then. I mean, with a hand, you're probably getting taxed a lot more too, but still, different times.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Feel free to hit that notification bell and subscribe if you like the rest of the content. Peace out.